If you blink, you'll miss this pilot's mistake. Today, I'm going to break down this huge collapse video to give you a few really critical pieces of tactical advice for flying cross country. You ready? Here we go.
See ya.
I'm paragliding!
See ya.
What's up, everybody? This is Ari in the Air. Welcome back to the channel. Stoked you're here. If you're new, welcome. I'm Ari. I teach high-level paragliding with emotional intelligence and relationship skills because technical skills alone create incomplete pilots. My integrated pilot course starts on October 19th. It's going to teach you the emergency skills that actually matter, the mindset tools that help you assess risk and make good decisions flying and in your career, and how to forecast the weather like an absolute pro so you can maximize your flying and stay out of air that can kill you. Links in the description below. Let's get into this video today. I'm going to show it to you one time and then I'm going to break it down. Okay, so before I even push play on this, just looking at the configuration, pulley to pulley here, flying on an Enzo, midday, high pressure, no big cumulus clouds. It looks like he's in some kind of comp here, lots of gliders in the air. Not super specced out, but definitely has a little bit of altitude. Let's push play. Flying along. On the rears, big jab, huge collapse, gigantic chute. What's happening? Oh, he's reaching for the brake. Oh, how'd he lose it? Oh, glider's acting a little funny. Okay, let me show you something here. So much crazy. This is pretty crazy. Let's first start with collapse prevention and see what he does. So we're looking at his right hand, going back. Look, he pulls the rear riser down and away pretty good. Maybe he was a little bit late on this, but he definitely responds to the collapse happening. So this may or may not have been a catchable collapse, but in general, anytime that you're flying on the speed bar, you're holding onto the rear risers, two-liner or not, you're feeling the line pressure, and anytime that you lose pressure, you pull down searching for it. As far as you can reach that rear riser to search for brake pressure is what you want. So could he have pulled it further? Maybe. At any rate, the glider collapses. Let's scrub forward here. Looks like he pulls it down, but then as the glider goes totally spaghetti, he just goes kind of hands up on his right hand, and the glider ends up collapsing 70%. It also rolls over to the left really hard. Now, I'm going to bring your attention to what makes this a really violent reinflation. If you look at his right hand right here, I want you to focus on the right hand. I'm just going to scrub forward in the video, scrubbing. So right here, the glider is still totally collapsed on the right side. The lines are spaghetti. There's no tension. And here in this frame, you can see very clearly he's got his right hand death gripped onto the rear riser. This is good. But then what happens? So scrub forward a couple of frames, couple more frames, and you see his fingers start to open up on the T-bar. He comes off of the T-grip. And in this frame, you can see that he's got that brake toggle only with his pinky on his right hand. In the very next frame, you see that the brake toggle is now at the pulley and his hand is empty. In the exact same moment, this is the first frame that his hand is empty. He has no connection to the right side of the glider. We look at the glider. What do we see? Look at this. We got the 20 cells here, open, wingtip, ready to go. Also, this wingtip is low. It's rolled over way to the left. That means that glider cannot shoot because as the weight of the pilot swings under the glider, that part of the wing is going to be vertical. It's not going to be perpendicular to the weight of the pilot. But this wing here is still going to be high as the pilot's weight comes under it. So it's going to shoot full power because it has no brake applied, no rear riser applied. It's got all of the authority in the world. So I'm just going to scrub back just a little bit here and show you the collapse full speed. Watch for the reinflation and his dropping of the brake. Collapse, drops the brake. Huge reinflation. Bang. It like shoots like a gun. Like it's almost confusing. Bang. Okay, and then he's left searching for the brake. Oftentimes, this is actually not a aspect ratio thing with gliders. It's more like a performance thing. The higher performance a glider has, the more efficient it is, the shorter the lines, the sportier the wings profile, the more power it has to shoot. And in this case, you see that it only takes a wingtip's worth of a very efficient glider to shoot really hard. And when he doesn't have brake to dampen how quickly the glider reinflates, it can be not only very violent, right? It rips, he looks back and the force of the shooting and the wind rips his visor off of his head and he's left without a brake in his hand. And as we play forward with the video, look at that right wingtip. It's acting funny. So if we look at this frame, we can see our friend is very surprised by what has just happened. Also, he doesn't have a brake in his hand. And this little thing right here, what is this? What happened? Yes, the glider shot so hard that it broke the B3 line on the right wingtip. This can happen. A totally unchecked race glider can break itself because of how hard it shoots. So really, you have to be very diligent about allowing its reinflation. The only other thing I will mention on this frame is that you see the tails of his speed bar. The red line goes into his harness and it is girth hitched with a knot onto the speed bar of the Enzo. This is how most competition pilots are flying and how I like to fly all of my gliders connected with a girth hitch instead of the Brummel hooks. But the end of this red line needs clipped off. I have flown with tails like this and had them get stuck in the pulleys. I've had them get stuck in my hands. And in general, this is a safety concern. If it hangs up on something on the harness when you're at full speed, then you try to let off the speed bar. It can keep the speed bar engaged when you don't want it, which can be an enormous problem. So trim the tails of your speed bar lines so that there is very limited overhang, okay? And going back to the broken B3 line, as you watch the rest of the video, you can see that the wingtip doesn't look normal. It collapses. Once he puts some brake on it, it still wants to collapse, but holding the brake pressure will keep that wingtip inflated with a broken B3. It's something that you can land with. In general, when we look at this, oh, he took a collapse on an Enzo. Was this pilot ready to fly an Enzo? I always like to say, oh, I have to protect my narrative. So if I crash flying an Enzo, people look back, oh, how much did he fly? How current was he? And so I kind of have to protect my narrative a bit and just do things that are really conservative. And a pilot gave me a piece of advice early on in my career that was 200 hours in every glider class. So you start at an A wing, you have 200 hours there. Then you go to a B wing and you have 200 hours there, C wing, 200 hours there, D wing, and then you can consider a CCC glider after 800 flight hours. Obviously, there's lots of pilots that will fly 800 flight hours and will never fly a CCC glider. But in general, we're seeing a lot of collapses and we see people who may or may not be ready for this. I'm not suggesting this pilot is not ready for this glider, but these are the kinds of considerations that you'll have to make if you want to have a long, safe flying career. What glider should I be flying? In what conditions? Where? With who? With what motivations? All of these things. And this is one of the main reasons that I created the Integral Pilot course. It starts on October 19th. It's 3 sessions live online with me. I'm going to teach you the emergency skills that actually matter, the mindset tools that allow you to assess risk and understand your paragliding career for what it is, and forecast the weather like an absolute pro, okay? It's gonna get my eyes on your paragliding career, have some one-on-one time. Would love to support you any way that I can. Would love to see you there. Links in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you on the next episode.